Player Profiler faithful, welcome to the latest episode of the Trade Gods. I am one of your co-hosts, Matty Kiwoom, and I am joined by my fellow Trade God brethren, Jason Allwine. What's going on, Jay?
What is up, man? I am ready to talk trades. I'm ready to chop it up. I'm ready to talk about whatever we're going to talk about tonight. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be back. Just me and you. You know, we've had some guests the past few weeks, and it's just me and you, my friend.
We've been having on the guests, and let me hit y'all with a teaser right now. Boy, oh boy, do we have a big guest next week. So absolutely get ready for a banger 1 week from today. But you don't have to wait for a week because tonight we have a absolutely guaranteed grade A banger episode. Jason's taking me to trade court, and I am here to defend or persecute some of our traders that we found on the Trade Finder tool on PlayerProfiler.com. And obviously, we got some buys and some sells, and we are here drinking a little bit of brouhahas.
Yes, sir.
Because the Trade Gods are having a boys' night. No guest, no one's around, just a couple of mano a mano broing out on a great Thursday night. So let's get into it. So we scoured the trade finder on playerprofile.com. We looked up and down, and we found 3 trades. And guess what I'm going to do? So I am taking the role of the lawyer. I'm taking a side of the plaintiff or the defendant, and I'm going to argue for or against. And then I have my judge here, my main man, Jason.
Yeah.
He's going to lay down the law on whoever loses this trade. So without further ado, ladies and gents, let's step right on into the trade court.
All rise for the Honorable Trade Gods.
All right, so the first trade on tonight's list, they get better and better as we go. The first one, Team A is receiving Rachaad White. Team B is receiving Darren Waller. So I am taking the role of the persecutor working for the plaintiff, correct? That's how we're doing this, right? That's the law talk?
Yeah.
That's the law. Let's go. So, Rachaad White, he's running back 13 on playerprofile.com in our dynasty ranks. Even though he wasn't all that efficient in 2022. 3.6 true yards per carry, 4.3 yards per touch. He was 35th in yards created per touch, but he showed that he can catch the ball. He was 11th in receptions at the running back position. He was pretty good out of the backfield, and he only scored 3 touchdowns. That number is going to go up.
Mm-hmm.
There's no Lenny. Tampa Bay hasn't brought anybody in town. They've only brought in Chase Edmonds. So you know the volume has to increase. They can't just give the ball to Chase Edmonds. They're not going to use high-end draft capital. Rachaad White is the guy. I know the offense is going to take a massive step back. That's the only thing you can do when you go from Tom Brady to Baker Mayfield. But it doesn't matter because what do we always say about the running backs? We want volume. We want chances. He's going to get the goal line carries. He's going to get a lot of the third down work. He is going to be a massive volume getter in Tampa Bay. And let me talk about Darren Waller. Darren Waller. Darren Waller, he was just dealt to the New York Giants, which you could argue was good for his value. He's probably the number 1 pass catcher in New York as of right now. But he's only tight end 12 on our Player Profiler Dynasty ranks. And over the past 2 seasons, so since 2020, he's only played in 20 total games. So he's often injured. So here I stand for you, Judge, that the Rachaad White side won this handily. Darren Waller, you don't even want this guy. So I present you, Judge. Team A won this with flying colors.
And I hear your case. Prosecution. You may rest. And I think I might have to rule in favor of that as well. I think Team B, if you could please step forward to the stand. I don't know why you would be trading such a young stud running back for an aging tight end. I know that you might be attached to days past of Darren Waller. However, I must give you the first trade ankle monitor of the night. And for the next football season, you must consult the trade gods before sending out another trade.
Okay. I think that's fair. So you are in lockdown, but you're not a lost cause. You just have to present your next happening to the trade gods.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a fair punishment.
For the whole season, you're not making any trades. Like you're you're done yourself.
Okay. So where would you say, how bad was this trade, like massively in the Rachaad White favor? Do you think it was close? What did you think overall?
I mean, I would say I'm not even like necessarily like crazy high on Rachaad White for next year. I see the points and I like it. I do think he has, the efficiency metrics kind of going against him. But I mean, I don't really want to take the risk on Darren Waller, like really at all. So I mean, I know he could hit the ceiling and maybe play a full season, but it's not that exciting to me. So I mean, I would rather have Rachaad White, and I mean, you just take the young running back in a dynasty league, and you're happy with that. You can find Darren Waller production more than likely somewhere else.
And honestly, like, I argued the Rachaad White side. I'm not all that super high on Rachaad White's value. I'm not opposed to selling. I just think that this return was super light. And on the flip side, I'm also really not opposed to buying Darren Waller. He, like I said, going into training camp, he's probably the primary pass catcher for Danny Jones, but you could probably get him a whole lot less than a top 15 running back in Dynasty.
A lot less.
So it wasn't a good idea. And our boy John in the chat, it's prosecutor, not persecutor. Someone's watched more Law and Order than I have. So John, thank you very much for that. So it's prosecutor, not persecutor. But for the trade gods trade court, maybe it is persecutor.
Yeah.
It was better. It's more like intense, right? I think. I don't know. Make a case, because that's what I was in the mode for tonight, was making a case. Speaking of a case, Judge, we have our second trade. May I present it to you?
Yes, please.
Trade number 2 is Team A is acquiring Jahan Dotson in a 2023 round 1. It is the 11th pick in round 1, and they are giving away Drake London to do this. Okay, so I am taking the side of the defendant. Defending. John, check me on that again.
Yeah, definitely.
Either way, here we go.
Defendant.
The defendant.
The defense.
I am helping the defense. The defendant. I am the defense. So Jahan Dotson in the round 1, 11 pick in the first round. It's not bad, because we are talking about a 12-team super flex league. Jahan Dotson in the player profiler ranks, he ranks at a wide receiver 33. He was 8th in target premium and 6th in production premium. So the kid was a baller. There was no doubt about it that Jahan Dotson has a future in the NFL. Matter of fact, he had a 2.14 fantasy points per target. That was the 6th highest amongst qualified wide receivers. The 111, let's break it down and call it what it probably is. Okay, right now it's a pick. But in 1 month's time, it's probably going to be the wide receiver 4 or 5, or maybe the running back 4 or 5 in Superflex. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be as exciting as it is right now. You know what is going to be exciting? Drizzy Drake London. Drizzy Drake London, wide receiver from the Atlanta Falcons, is the wide receiver 11 on our player profiler ranks right now. And why is that? You might be asking, Judge. Well, it's because Drake London showed that even in a subpar offense, even with a mediocre quarterback, he was an absolute alpha wide receiver. He had a 32.4% target rate. That was the second most in the NFL. He had a 2.40. Let me hear that back. Judge and jury, 2.40.
Yeah.
Yards per route run. That was 11th best in the NFL. And a 2.09 yards per team pass attempt. That was top 16 in the league. And with his new quarterback, the quarterback going into 2023, perceivably. That's a word, right, Judge?
Perceivably, yeah, I think so.
It sounds great.
Yeah.
Receiving corps. Desmond Ridder. He played 4 games last year with Drake London. And in those 4 games, Drake London, although he didn't explode, he didn't break out in a way that said, everybody look at him. He still averaged 13.6 points a fantasy game, which is more than the yearly average in the 12 games that Jahan Dotson played in 2022. So imagine if Desmond Ridder takes a second-year leap. Or, Judge, close your eyes. Imagine we see in the news tomorrow, trade accepted, and the Atlanta Falcons brings aboard Lamar Jackson.
Woo!
So, Judge, with all that in mind, Team A gets Jahan Dotson in the 111. Team B gets Drake London. How are you ruling on this trade?
Wow, that was a great opening statement from counsel for Team B. Great job. Really great job. I went into this trade wanting the Jahan Dotson.
I just mesmerized you in a way you wouldn't even believe.
You got me good because
I did.
I'm thinking about it now, and I do. Drake London was a sell candidate of mine a while back, so I could feel like, this might be selling low on Jahan Dotson. Also, by throwing in the 111. I was thinking going into this that you might not be able to argue that Jahan Dotson and Drake London have that difference of a season next year, but the upside is tantalizing for Drake London. The true alphaness is starting to shine, and I do like it. I do like it a lot, and I'm going to rule in favor of Team B here. I'm actually surprised. I know Atlanta's not going anywhere. I don't even think they're going to get Lamar Jackson, but that was still a good enough throw for me. Makes me happy. And, with the bad defense that they have, they still have to play catch up. We're going to get volume. Looking back at week 18, Drake London, I believe, had 100 yards and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm taking it. I like it. And, usually if a quarterback is bad, like some expect Desmond Ridder to be, they usually are bad because they lock on to their wide receiver 1 and they can't move away from it. So, screw it. Give me the Drake London side. I'm not going to dish out too much of a punishment here for Team A. I think at the end of the day, it's a pretty fair trade, but perhaps just a civil settlement, something small.
A quick monetary value can be put on this. There's no need for massive punishment, and I agree. It's a pretty fair trade overall. Yeah. We got one more trade that we are going to present here in Trade Court, so stick around right when we hear back from a word from one of our sponsors.
Oh, hey, it's Mr. Breakout Finder coming at you. The Breakout Finder features 3 key tools. A database of metrics that include speed score, college dominator, breakout age, but also Breakout Finder only stats like dynamic score, level of competition, teammate score. All of these things are part of the overall Breakout Finder algorithm that pinpoints the probability that a player will break out. Everyone's talking about my model does this and my model does that. Well, we give you the data points that go into the model. We have a feature that lets you compare players, and then we give you the precise probability of every wide receiver, every running back, sorted and filterable by class year. So when I'm talking to my friends and I need to show them why I'm so bullish on player X, I pull out the Breakout Finder and bam, there he is. So go to the App Store, go to Google Play. It's $5 to get the Breakout Finder, and then a couple extra bucks to get some of these additional enhanced stats. Go download it and thank me later.
Welcome back, and let's get into that third and final trade. This one should be a banger. If you're familiar with the show, you already know where my stance is on this player. So let's trade number 3 is a blockbuster. Team A is acquiring A.J. Dillon, Treylon Burks in the 2.03 in this year's rookie draft. Team B is receiving DJ Moore, the 301 and the 303 in this year's class. I will be taking the side of the defense, helping out our defendant. So, Judge, I understand this looks like a lot. We got some young talent, the best draft pick in the trade, going to the same team. But A.J. Dillon, he's running back 35 in PlayerProfiler's Dynasty ranks. Treylon Burks, yeah, he's wide receiver 24, but has really proven that he can handle a top 25 season. In the 2.03, it's looking more like the wide receiver 5 through 8 in the class, or the running back 6 through 8 in the class. So we're not really talking about a game changer here with this pick. Like I said, A.J. Dillon, top 35 running back. It's because he's part of a two-man backfield. Aaron Jones, he is not going anywhere. He restructured his deal to stick around. They're not going to just feed A.J. Dillon. No, they're not going to do that. They're going to split the backfield. A.J. Dillon is going to have an Aaron Jones problem this year like he has his entire career. Treylon Burks, he was a first-round draft pick last year, 18th overall. He's a pretty good player.
Yeah.
But he's part of a dud offense. And, Judge, can you tell me who's going to be the quarterback of the Tennessee Titans?
I still think it's going to be Malik Willis.
Malik Willis? Does he bode any bit of confidence in you?
No.
Judge, can you tell the jury, the men and women of the jury, about Malik Willis? Is he any good at throwing the football?
Oh, to put it lightly, I mean, no, not really, no.
No. And yet, Treylon Burks showed some flashes. He did. He had a couple of good games. One of them was with Josh Dodds. Is Josh Dodds in Tennessee any longer, Judge?
I don't think so.
No, he signed with Cleveland, I believe, to be the backup there. So, are we looking at Tannehill as a backup? Are we looking at him, Malik Willis? I don't really know if that's all that great. And plus, Judge, was Treylon Burks healthy all year last year?
No.
He missed 4 games with turf toe. Turf toe. He doesn't even play on turf, Judge. Plays on grass.
He got it in an away game.
Hey, it was 4 games. It caused a 4-game absence, Judge. 4 games.
Sorry, the judge isn't supposed to argue with counsel. I'll back up. Remember my position here. Continue.
We need to get you a powdered wig for next time. Like one of those like George Washington things, right? But also, Judge, he wasn't just a turf toe. He also had a concussion and missed 2 games with that too. Okay, so he's not worthy. I mean, he's not reliable yet in his career. He's not. And now, let me present you DJ Moore. DJ Moore has been one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL over his career. He's played 5 seasons, 3 of which were over 1,100 yards receiving. And last year at 888, well, come on, look at his quarterbacks. Sam Darnold, washed Cam Newton, Baker Mayfield, bump after bump after bump after bump. And now, Judge, where did he get traded to?
Chicago.
To the Chicago Bears. I've made my case already. Why DJ Moore and Justin Fields are going to be a match made in heaven, in which will elevate both stock to the next level. I've already talked about that. Check out a previous show if you want to hear more about that. I'm here to talk about this trade right here, right now. Last year, DJ Moore finished as the wide receiver 33 on a points per game basis. So that doesn't really bode much confidence. But when I tell you he was the 7th highest in unrealized air yards, meaning his quarterback just simply couldn't get him the ball. His target accuracy rating on PlayerProfiler.com, 6.3. You know what? How good that was this year, Judge?
Outside the top 30.
Try 97.
Wow. I mean, I was right? But
you were absolutely right, Judge. You're handsome and amazing, and everything about you is correct in the best thing. I'm not trying to kiss up. It's just
thank
true.
you, counsel.
Yeah, the council is supposed to suck up to the judge, right? That is part of being a lawyer, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, Harry Snowman, let me know. You're a lawyer. He's in the chat. What's up, Harry? What's up, Rob? And on top of all of this, DJ Moore had a 35.6% dominator rating. That was good for top 5 amongst qualified wide receivers. So when I'm telling you that I'm trading a running back 2 in an offense, an unproven, injury-prone youngster on a bad offense, and a meh pick for a future top 12 receiver in fantasy, right now, he's wide receiver 14 in our dynasty ranks and only climbing. So, Judge, that's why I'm presenting the case that Team B win this trade by a landslide.
Great speech. This is a tough one to rule on. I do think it's a little bit closer than Council is leading on. I do like.
I can't be biased with DJ Moore. Everybody knows that.
But I mean, I get the logic. I do think that perhaps a little too low on Treylon Burks. Perhaps. I don't know for sure. I don't quite know where I'm standing on him yet going forward, but I think I'm at least lukewarm on him, which usually means, I'm okay. I'm taking the chance on him, and I like it a lot. I mean, if Ryan Tannehill is the quarterback, which Harry Snowman puts in the chat, it says that, I've seen that the Titans organization expects him to be the starter. It just, to me, that doesn't sound confident enough. And I know that they can free up like $19 million by releasing him.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think something might be coming that way, but I don't know. I don't really know. And even if he is quarterback, I think that helps Treylon Burks. It does. We look at a better play action offense. You are right about A.J. Dillon, right? I mean, if Aaron Rodgers is leaving Green Bay, we're talking about a quarterback coming in to learn, right? I mean, I know Jordan Love has been learning for years now, but still, I don't think that's going to be as enticing of an offense as it is with both Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon in a really good Packers offense. And I like the upside of DJ Moore. I do. And, there's some picks that you can take with that 301 and 303 in this rookie draft.
I didn't even argue that. So, Judge, thank you for bringing up. Tell the people listening what you can get here with those early round threes. They're not nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I can't put any names to it right now. You've put me on the spot, Council.
You could see somebody like Jalen Reed there, Jaden Reed that we like. If you want to get, there's a lot of sleeper receivers there. Running back wise in the early parts of the third, Chase Brown is someone that comes to mind. Izzy Abandakanta might be there early. We don't know if they're for sure playmakers, but as of right now, they're definitely someone to get excited about, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, even the tight ends, right? There's a huge tight end class.
Very good call. Judge. So, you're just so smart, Judge.
Yeah. Thank you. And this is, if I remember, tight end premium league.
It is a tight end premium league. Yes, it is. 14-team PPR Superflex TEP.
So I like it there. And, the full PPR, I think, will help DJ Moore a little bit. But I don't know. I think that this is a little too close to rule in favor of that team getting one big asset. If I'm assuming here in a 14-team league, A.J. Dillon might become startable in some weeks. Treylon Burks is definitely startable most weeks, and you could end up getting someone with that 2-3. You really can.
Absolutely.
So I think
Tajay Spears could be there. Kendre Miller could be there. Yep. Roshan. Yep. There are some people who could slip to that 203. Jalen Hyatt, I've seen slip in some mocks.
Yeah. So I think that Team A is setting themselves up for a little bit more depth and success for next season. But I like the shot taken for DJ Moore. I do, and therefore, only one team is getting the trade gods ankle monitor, and that is only one of the teams in trade one that traded away Rachaad White for Darren Waller. That's the only team getting an ankle monitor. There's no physical punishment here, but you've got to at least send out a message to the league saying that I'm sorry I made the trade. It's just I really, really love DJ Moore.
Okay, so to pull down the fourth wall or look through the fourth wall, whatever the saying is, I was the one who made the DJ Moore trade. Yep. So the only trade I could not successfully defend tonight was my own. So now if you are in the TGIF, you will be getting a message about sorry about this trade, but I love DJ Moore. So expect that immediately following this very recording. So let's recap the trade court. So I went 2-1, not bad, right? As a lawyer.
Yeah. No.
67% effective.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I just don't know if maybe overall it's a loss because I couldn't defend my own trade. So as a lawyer I'm okay, but as a trade god, maybe I've lost.
No, it was very, very close. And I think over, the end of the year we might be. I'm just a little personally just not as high on DJ Moore. But if he hits your expectations, that's a win and a half for you, my friend.
We'll see. Yeah, you're right. No, I think that was absolutely fair analysis. So, to quick recap, we like Rachaad White a lot more than we like Darren Waller in the first trade. We're kind of split, but we understand why the Drake London side probably won this trade. But Jahan Dotson in the 111 is absolutely a very good return. We like Dotson, and we think the 111 could be something. And the third trade, Jason is saying that maybe I should quit fantasy football and become a lawyer because I'm better at defending other people's trades than my own.
No, that's not what I'm saying. You've got to trade up for the guy you like. You've got to.
You do.
You've got to.
You do. So that's going to wrap up trade court. That was fun. I love your punishments. They're very, very specific. Did you think about these all day? Do you think about what you're going to rain down on these trades?
No. I believe it or not, back in high school, I was an improv champion. So
I absolutely believe that. You are a yes and king. I can sense it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what's next?
Very, very good. Okay, so that's going to wrap up trade court. Let's go into the buy or sell section of the show. Jason, what are we doing? Are we going to start with buys or sells?
Let's buy. Let's buy.
Ooh, I love starting with buys. Stick around. We're getting right into it.
It's time to buy and sell.
So the first buys of the night is James Cook, and I'm saying buy the 105. Jason, tell everybody listening why they should go right to their leagues and try to buy the running back from the Buffalo Bills, James Cook.
Yeah, and this is last week you were buying Damian Harris, and I like it. I like it a lot. I think that's a good buy. Just because, I think you're going to want anyone in this offense, and I like that. I like that James Cook has taken a little bit of a hit in value because of that Damian Harris signing. But, I think you can expect at the very least more of the same and potentially a little bit more. The only thing I'll concede is that he might not score as many touchdowns, right? But even then, there's plenty to like about him. Damian Harris is definitely more of a pure runner than Devin Singletary. So at the very least, I think this passing down work will pretty much be exclusively James Cook's. We might see Harris get like 2 catches a game, something like that, but nowhere near what Singletary was getting. He even had a game, Devin Singletary, last year with 9 receptions. That's a pretty decent ceiling. The Bills do like to throw to their running back, so I'll take it. I'll take it for sure. I think we'll see some games where James Cook's getting like 6 receptions, maybe even more. And on that offense, that's something you're going to want. Last year, too, with some efficiency metrics, he was top 3 in true yards per carry, yards per touch, and breakaway run rate. So, he's an elusive runner. He's an explosive runner. Gets some pass down work on a great offense. Not much you can really dislike about him, to be honest, even with, the potential that he might lose some goal line carries.
Yeah, and you don't take him that early that they did in 2022. I think people quickly forget that he was the 3rd running back off the board in last year's draft. They went Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, and James Cook. I was singing the praises of Damian Harris just a week ago, and it's for a certain reason, but it's more of the role more than it is his skill set. Where James Cook, he's definitely skilled, and if he gets an uptick in volume, that's a good opportunity. And given the fact that they did just sign a running back, there are still there are still rumors swirling that they'll go running back in the draft. That's going to depress the value of a guy like James Cook. Mm-hmm. So now you can get him now. I think that's a good, smart play. I do like James Cook. I do roster him in a number of dynasty leagues. So I understand the thinking there. So I'm with you. I'm saying you buy the 105. This is more of a super flex conversation than 1 QB. And here's why. The hate for Will Levis has gone too far. It's gone way too far. People are calling the next Zach Wilson. People are calling Will Levis a bust before he's even taken the field, before he's even been selected. And I think when you grab the 105, you're I think a lot of people in fantasy right now with the 105 are looking to trade back. So let's say you have the 111. You take the 111 and you're running back 4 in the squad, or a receiver piece, or a 2024 second, something. I think you can get up those handful of spots relatively easier than you could have a month ago. Yep. And I think that is because there's been too much hate around Will Levis. So Most rookie mocks we're seeing now, Bijan at the 101 and a run of 4 quarterbacks or 3 plus JSN. So if you get the 105, you're solidifying a quarterback in Superflex. I don't think it's going to be Bryce Young. I think it's going to be Will Levis. I think in most leagues, you will have a chance to draft Will Levis at the 105. So I'm trying to buy that pick with keeping in mind that I'm getting a quarterback that I do think has tremendous upside. And the reason why I love the upside of Will Levis is because I do believe he is going to the Colts. My gut is telling me that the 104 will be used on Will Levis, and I love Will Levis in this offense. Big arm. You talked about Ryan Tannehill being able to execute a play action. Imagine Will Levis with Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, Jelani Woods. These are big athletes who can catch the ball downfield, and we saw in his pro day what kind of cannon he's attached to. Will Levis absolutely can succeed at the NFL level. I don't like that everyone is absolutely, kicking him off. They're just writing him off already. So I think you can get the 105 at a discount, cheaper than you could have a month ago, and still come away with a quarterback you're going to be able to use in Superflex. So use this opportunity now. Use this little time frame before the NFL draft, because if he gets top 5, top 10 draft capital, poof, gone. Just like that, the value at the 105 goes away. People all of a sudden will be back on the train. Do it now while they think he's going to slip to the 18th overall pick. He's going to slip outside the top 20. He's not. He's going top 10. I think all quarterbacks, 1, 2, 3, 4, quarterback, are going off the board. That includes Will Levis. So get the 105 now. Get yourself a quarterback with tremendous upside in Superflex before the price skyrockets.
I like it. I like it a lot. Is this buy candidate Will Levis? It's not the one, this is strictly for Will Levis?
It's with Will Levis in mind. I guess I could say with the ability that if it's Bryce Young and you don't like Bryce Young, you can go JSN. Yeah. So there is pivot points. I guess I should mention that. Thank you for bringing that up, Jason, because that's a really, really good point, that it doesn't have to be lockstep on Will Levis. There are pivot points here where if Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs get round 1 draft capital, there's a pivot point there to a running back. So I guess you're right. That's a great point to bring up. Thank you for that.
It's a very flexible pick. I like that a lot. I mean, top 3 are Roschon, 2 quarterbacks, CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson, more than likely in Superflex league.
Roschon? You're taking Roschon? The 101?
Bijan. Roschon. See, this is why NFL teams like Roschon. Their names are so similar. They go to sleep at night thinking that they got Bijan Robinson. But so I mean, and so whatever happens at the 104, you're at least getting JSN or the slept-on quarterback, Will Levis. So I like that pick a lot. It's a good buy, my friend. Great job.
And for those listening that are part of the TGIF, I'm coming for that top 5 pick, baby. Let's keep on moving to the sells of the night. Jason, you're selling newly acquired Houston Texan Dalton Schultz, and I'm selling Trey Lance. Jason, tell everyone listening why they should sell Dalton Schultz.
Yeah, it's nothing spectacular, really. I mean, I think Dalton Schultz has already had the best season of his career, and it was a pretty damn good season. It really was. But I think at this point, he's just kind of a middling tight end, and I would rather just kind of sell him for what I can get, that he's still young. Maybe people are excited about him going to the Texans, thinking that he's going to be the number 1 target or something like that. I think you can get at least something for him, and then you can take a chance on some of these tight ends that are cheaper than him, like Juwan Johnson, Irv Smith, Gerald Everett even. I mean, he's at least on the Chargers offense. Jelani Woods. Hayden Hurst, I think, has kind of the same case in that he's going to be a tight end on an offense with a rookie quarterback, right? I mean, whatever. So I don't know. There's some tight ends out there that are definitely cheaper that I would kind of just be a little bit just comfortable still starting, knowing that I got some value off of Dalton Schultz. And I mean, you could even maybe go reach out to the David Njoku owner and be like, hey, Dalton Schultz, maybe just like a 3rd on top of it, maybe just like a 4th, nothing too much. Maybe go get yourself some Chig. You might have to throw a cherry on top.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, it's not too much really. And I think, you have his historical performances to kind of elevate his value, I guess I would say, and just move on from him. I mean, he's probably going to get a decent amount of volume, but I mean, we're still talking about a rookie quarterback. We're still talking about the Houston Texans, and it's just not going to be what he got in Dallas. So, I mean, I'm just going to move on, take a chance on someone else.
Do you think there is a lot of value still surrounding Dalton Schultz after he signed with the Houston Texans?
Yeah, I mean, there are just guys out there who really like themselves some Dalton Schultz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And going to Houston, he might be okay. You could absolutely see an outcome where he does catch some touchdowns there.
Definitely.
But when I was actually on Player Profiler today a couple weeks ago when free agency kicked off, and Jack, shout out Jack, he called Dalton Schultz the new age Austin Hooper.
Yeah.
Stings a little bit because Austin Hooper absolutely did not ball out after he left Atlanta like we kind of had hoped he would after signing a massive contract. So would you, if you were selling Dalton Schultz, are you looking to tear down at quarterback, getting an asset like you just said, Njoku plus a third, or are you okay just selling off the tight end position and figuring it out in the aggregate?
I think I'd just figure it out in the aggregate, to be honest, see what you can get. I think you just sell them. Like, this is one of my true just sell candidates. Like, a lot of these in our show have been sell highs. Like, make sure you get something nice, but I think you can sell him and move on. And there's going to be someone that you're going to be starting at tight end that maybe not the same ceiling, but a similar floor.
Right. So, yeah, I think it's good. That's a very good point to make, too. It's just you don't need to get another tight end back in a deal when you're trading a guy like Schultz away, because at the end of the day, it's such a crapshoot of a position that if you get a receiver you like and a pick you like, a running back and a pick you like, whatever,
yeah,
you can figure out tight end outside of this trade.
Definitely.
I can't argue that. I do roster Schultz in one league. I'm not trading him because I don't know what I'll get. But after hearing this, I might try. I'm going to try because
just see.
I guess you could see a world where they get Bryce Young and he does go to Dalton Schultz, but they gave him a 1-year deal. Was it $9 million? It wasn't like a massive deal. So I don't know. Do you think that helps or hurts his kind of perception of the league? I mean, he's still in a contract year.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just more that like no one. I mean, like we love Nico Collins here. I love Nico Collins, but I don't think the general perception around Nico Collins is that he's the alpha target or anything. We don't know what's going on with John Mechie. Like there's an argument that Dalton Schultz is the pass catcher number one on this offense, at least to be said. I don't think it'll happen. But I mean, I definitely think the argument is there.
One last question about Dalton Schultz, and this actually just came to my head, is would you wait until the NFL draft comes and goes? Because let's just say they don't take a receiver at the 112. Will that spike his value to the point where you could get even more for Dalton Schultz? Or do you think that it's pretty much a lock that they take a receiver within their first handful of picks, and that's going to kind of suppress what you could get for a guy like Schultz?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it really changes too much. I mean, if they bring in another wide receiver, I mean, it's like he's still the starting tight end, and I think that's the value. That's what gives him the value. If anything, another wide receiver means they're not going to be. I mean, why would you even double team Dalton Schultz? But I mean, people would probably be doing it at least.
If there's nothing else, right? There's nothing else.
They would be doing it. So I don't know. I mean, that's at least taken out of the equation.
Right.
I do think they probably should go wide receiver. But if they don't, that would help. I mean, I think you could hold on to him and just see what happens either way. I don't think it's going to hurt or help it in much of a regard. But if they don't draft a wide receiver, I think it would at least go up a tiny bit, right? Like, hey, Dalton Schultz is who they're going with next year.
Right. And he was the first guy in. That also kind of
Yeah.
keeps a little bit of extra value, I guess. So, yeah, for sure. Check your league. See what you can get for Dalton Schultz. I'm not opposed to that. I'm selling Trey Lance. And it might seem counterintuitive. I've heard a lot of buy Trey Lance now that his value's down, and I guess that makes sense. You want to buy into an asset when it's down. I'm saying sell because I don't think the asset is going to bounce back. I think that the asset will continue to sink. Trey Lance, he was the number 3 pick in the draft, but he was taken in 2021 or 20, right? 2020, 2021. It's been some years now. He's only played 8 games in his NFL career. And on top of that, I don't know if he's the type of skill that the coach, Kyle Shanahan, wants for this offense. And when you look at the comments that general manager John Lynch made just a couple of days ago, He said, and I quote, "I think it would have been pretty easy if Brock was healthy because the way Brock played last year, he'd be the starter going into it." That's a vote of confidence from the guy who puts the team together. He also went on to say about Trey Lance and Brock Purdy in tandem. "We've always said we don't care where you were drafted. If you were drafted, that's always been our stance. We're still very excited about Trey, but I think the way Brock played, he probably earned the right to be the guy." When he got his elbow cleaned up, it is not the year-long Tommy John surgery. He should be ready to start throwing the football right around week 1. So I don't think he'll be ready for week 1, but I do think that when he is healthy, maybe by October, middle of October, he's going to get his chance. Shanahan already said that in the offseason, Trey Lance is going to have to split reps with Sam Darnold. Another guy who's taken in the top 3. Another guy who never really materialized into that type of prospect. So just because Trey Lance has the draft capital does not mean he is going to be relevant in fantasy. I know a lot of people are saying, well, he's going to get an opportunity somewhere. So what? If he gets traded for less than what they invested, let's say it's a third or second, what kind of allegiance is that team going to have to him? We saw that happen with Sam Darnold. He was taken, second overall, traded to the Carolina Panthers for a second-round pick, was propped up on rushing touchdowns for 3 weeks and then fell off. Yep. Trey Lance hasn't played meaningful football in almost 4 years because, remember, he only played 1 game his last year at NDSU. 1 game. We do not know if this guy can operate the San Francisco 49er offense. And on top of that, we already do know, we know this for a fact, that San Francisco will not just get rid of a player just to get rid of him. Remember a couple years ago when they did not get rid of Jimmy G? When it was a foregone conclusion that Jimmy G was out the door?
Yeah.
Well, Jimmy G only left this past offseason. So they're not absolutely going to give him away. He might just be a backup for Brock Purdy or Sam Darnold. They brought him in. The money talks. And that's one thing, the last thing I'll say about this. A lot of people say about Brock Purdy, about Sam Darnold, they're not that good. They don't really have the talent of a Trey Lance. I would go on to say Kyle Shanahan isn't looking for that type of talent. He's looking for a particular player. Let's look at his track record in San Francisco. What was his wish list quarterback? Do you remember what his wish list quarterback was, Jason?
Enlighten me.
It was Kirk Cousins. That was his number one option. He wanted Kirk Cousins, as boring as it gets, as fine as it gets. And remember when they traded up to the 103 a couple of years ago? Who was rumored to go to San Francisco?
Mac Jones.
And who did he go to the Super Bowl with?
Matt Ryan.
And Jimmy Garoppolo. Again, just okay players. He wants a guy that's going to operate his offense and make sense. His offense might be the best in the league when it comes to coach construction. He orchestrates probably the best offense in football. Trey Lance, if he's not the guy, he's not the guy. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying sell now. I don't care if the value's low. Sell now before the absolute bottom falls out. What do you think? Are you trying to buy? I understand the argument to buy. I'm not. I don't want him on any of my squads.
I mean, I think he's more of a hold. I do think Brock Purdy eventually takes over the offseason or the offense, but I do think Trey Lance is starting week 1. So I would almost wait to sell until that news officially hits. But otherwise, I mean, I'm with you. I mean, and like you said, there's still the possibility Sam Darnold's out there starting week 1. Saw some tweets from Cody, who was in the chat earlier. He was saying who it reminds him of, and just bringing out someone else with going to a new team and everything like that. So, I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens, but I think he's at this point more of a hold. But if there are people out there who want to take the chance on him for sure, and they'll spend up. I mean, a late first-round pick for him is possible in some leagues. I saw earlier some guy had to drop him for some reason, but otherwise,
I'm not saying drop. Don't drop.
No way.
Trade him, and if you can get a late round 1, I don't think I'm opposed to that because you're basically running the game. You're playing a game of chicken. Week 1. Yeah. If he starts week 1, it might sting a bit because he could do well enough to cause either his value to go up or for him to particularly stick around.
Yeah.
But if Sam Darnold starts week 1 and he's on that roster, I mean, what is that going to do with his trade value?
If he gets beat by Sam Darnold, the memes, the just Twitter hate in general towards the 49ers front office for wasting so much on Trey Lance to bench him for Sam Darnold, man, I mean, like I could see it now. So you would be dropping him. You would probably be paying your commissioner to allow you to drop him.
Can you unlock his droppable value for me, please?
Yeah.
And this is kind of maybe a tough question to answer, but like, what would you put the percentage that Sam Darnold does beat him out? Let's just say Brock Purdy's not starting until week 6. Let's put that aside. Darnold versus Trey Lance. What kind of percentage do you give Darnold to start?
I'm not going to put it too low, but I'm not going to put it too high either. And remember, this is the show that randomly was like, we don't know. Brock Purdy could totally end up taking the starting job.
We nailed that.
And
we nailed that.
So, I mean, I'm always going to believe in possibilities. I see a comment here. Beats him out, 0%. I will say. Think it's a little higher. I might put beat him out at like 5%, but I'll put the chance of Sam Darnold starting week 1 at like a good 15%. Because, like you said, the health concerns with Trey Lance, and so, I mean, if he gets injured and they have to roll out Sam Darnold, that's just what they'll have to do. And I mean, let's be honest. Would you be surprised if Sam Darnold went out there week 1, threw 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 250 yards?
Rush for 1.
yeah, rush for 1. No.
I'm going to say this, and maybe this is a hot take. I think it's 50-50. I think it's a coin flip as we go into the offseason if it's Darnold or Trey Lance. I do think it's that close.
I can't say I don't think it's that close, but I mean, but hey, it either happens or it doesn't, and that's 50-50.
Yeah, I guess in reality it's one or the other, so it has to be naturally 50-50, but I actually do believe it's 50-50 chance. I do think that if Sam Darnold goes to camp and just operates the offense, which he absolutely is capable of doing, because that's all Shanahan wants you to do, is operate the offense. Fake it to one guy, give it to Kittle. Fake it to the other guy, give it to Ayuk. Hand the ball off to McCaffrey, hand the ball off to Debo. And as I'm explaining this more and more, I think I might be able to play quarterback for the Niners, because there are some absolute playmakers. Our boy John in the chat says 65-35 Darnold. We were on the commissioner show the last few days ago. He's high on Darnold. He asked us if we'd be surprised if he would be the MVP in the Super Bowl. I would be surprised, but
Super Bowl MVP, yeah.
We love you, John. We love you. That was a great show, and go check that out if you want to check out a very fun show that Jason and I were on just earlier this week. That's actually going to wrap up the whole show. It's been a great show, if I may say so myself. I got to put on my lawyer pants, which was a lot of fun. I know you want to put on the judge hat and the judge wig.
Yeah.
How was that?
That was fun. That was good. I think next week with our guest, maybe we can both put on our lawyer pants and make them put on the judge hat.
Hey, like I said, it's going to be a big guest next week, so you're definitely going to want to tune in next week. But we're also very, very glad you tuned in this week, because I think it was a pretty great episode, don't you think?
Oh, dude. Fantastic.
Very fun. Fantastic. We always have fun. Cheers to a great bro night.
Yes, sir.
Just a great bro night. So, Jason, tell all of our listeners where they can find you on social, where they can get all your work.
Yeah, follow my Twitter at JFootballWine, and then you can find the Instagram and Facebook, Player Profiler on Facebook, Roto Underworld on Instagram. Great stuff going out. We're working on growing as a social media empire, so make sure you follow those places. And then, of course, sometimes the Player Profiler Discord. Here, every Thursday night, it is the show to watch. And then, of course, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m., you can join me for a little Wake and Take. Keep yourself up on the NFL news and rumors.
Love Wake and Take. It's a great show, and Jason does a fantastic job. You can find me on Twitter. I'm at Matty Kiwoom. Follow our TikToks at PlayerProfiler and at Profiler_NFL. Woo! You can get my articles on the PlayerProfiler.com. Make sure you're tuning into the game plan each and every Saturday. This week, I got a very special guest, so make sure you check that out. And we got Mock Draft Live Tuesdays, Fridays, Sundays, a plethora of Underworld hosts, me, Jason, Cody, Seth, Aaron and others are tackling those mock drafts to get you prepared for your rookie draft. So make sure you check that out. And check out the Players Lounge and check out me and Jason, because we're going to be going to the Kansas City draft in just a few weeks. Very, very excited for that. So stick around for everything we have at Player Profiler. We're seriously just, we just keep getting better. This network is just to the moon, no doubt about it. Fantastic. So he's Jason Allwine. I'm at Kiwoom. We're the Trade Gods, and tune in next week. Peace.
Hey, you like that video? Be sure to subscribe and activate those alerts so you get notified as soon as new videos drop. And be sure to check out PlayerProfiler.com. We have all the tools for you to dominate every type of fantasy league. We have a draft kit, Dynasty Deluxe, data analysis, DFS Dominator, and don't forget the player rankings to rule them all.